Bulletcast for life.
Ladies and gentlemen, you know the name, you know the voice, you know exactly why I'm here. Just in case if you don't, I am a 25-year-old piece of gold, the messiah of the microphone, a California classic, the X factor of podcasting, and the greatest sports recreational podcaster in the world today. You know I'm not alone. Brandon is not here. He decided to take a day off, even though he calls himself Mr. No Days Off. Anyway, the sensational Sherry of the BC, Cindy's okay, the full okay. How you doing?
Hey, I'm doing good. Thank you for having me doing this lovely episode once again. I'm so excited to talk about it, especially what a interesting week we have, Phillip.
Yeah, AEW it was very interesting. This past Friday night, the Friday night Dynamite is different, you know. I
Right.
like it. I like it. But yeah, let's just jump right into it. We have a match between the Young Bucks, the AEW Tag Team Champions, going up against PAC and Pentagon. Uh, Good stuff. Very good stuff. You know, the brawl early on and the close near falls. Brandon Cutler, the young boy, getting involved. It was all really fun.
Indeed. And especially you got a lot of people are getting more involved in this matchup prior to it. Also, like you have Matt giving MT Nakazawa his headband for him to wear. And surprisingly enough, you have Frankie Kazarian surprisingly attacked Nakazawa. And that's where the Good Brothers starting to chase off Frankie Kazarian. So it's kind of like there is no distraction from the Good Brothers. So that way everybody can have like a solid match, except for young boy Brandon Cutler, of course. The match was pretty solid. I like Pentagon Settle Mieros' Joker ring gear that he wore from Double or Nothing. It was pretty quite impressive. A lot of pinfall, a lot of counters, and especially with Pac, that he did an impressive Liger bomb to Matt for the 2 count, and the counter from Pentagon with the Canadian Destroyer, and then Matt blind tag Nick and did the Canadian Destroyer to Penta as well. So it was pretty much a really concrete match, but then you have is, of course, Brandon Cutler providing the distraction just to push Pac out, and then that's where Matt did pick up the victory by pinning Pentagon Settle Miedo, of course. But it was a pretty much a solid match. Probably one of the good matches where the audience has been giving a huge pop.
No, absolutely, 100%. I mean, looking at it, I think Frankie Kazarian, he's going to become the elite hunter now. I think that's even what Excalibur said, that he's going to become the elite hunter. Which I forget who was the Bullet Club hunter over in Japan. Was it Yoshitatsu? I believe it was.
I think so.
Yeah. So I think that's an interesting tidbit. The Young Bucks working more of a grounded style. I mean, I think Nick did like one flip, his usual little comeback, and that was it. Matt faking out the tope suicida to go on the ramp, run down the steps, and clothesline Pac. I thought that was very funny.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, but all in all, the BTE trigger 1, 2, 3. The Bucks they pick up the big win, and then they start attacking the boys, and yeah, Eddie Kingston comes out for the save.
Yep, just on his own.
Yeah, Moxley, he's out indefinitely, so I guess Renee's expected to deliver very soon if she hasn't already.
Mm-hmm.
So that's going to be interesting. Congratulations to Mox and Renee on that. After that's over, we go into Tony Schiavone introducing the world's strongest man, WWE Hall of Famer Mark Henry.
Your uncle.
Yeah, that's my uncle. That's my uncle, man. Yeah, man. He's coming out. The salmon shirt was it's an homage. It's paying homage to the salmon suit jacket from when he had the fake retirement years ago, which I still love to this day. And yeah, he talked about Rampage. Talked about how he's lucky to be here in AEW. And Tony asked, "Is there a possibility we could see you in the ring?" And Mark, Mark, I got a lot left in the tank. I'm like, okay, all right, that's what's up. Mm-hmm. And then Vicky Guerrero, who we haven't seen on AEW TV in quite some time, she comes out with her usual "excuse me" gimmick. She says she's introducing one of the hottest acts in wrestling today, the face of Latinos. Andrade El Idolo. And yes, the former Andrade or Andrade Cien Almas, the former NXT United States champion, has made his way over to AEW, officially signing a deal. Yeah, he says he used to call himself the face of Latinos. Now he says he's going to be the face of all elite wrestling. This works out perfectly because he's scheduled to face Kenny Omega at Triple Mania coming up in August for the AAA Mega Championship. So, what are your thoughts on Andrade coming over to AEW?
Well, first things first, it was great seeing Mark Henry doing kind of like some clarification about if we're going to be seeing him in action. So pretty much it's going to be a lot of like speculation of which match he's going to be having very, very soon if he decides to step up into the ring. However, like with the whole Andrade debut, I did not expect that to happen from Vicky Guerrero. And seeing him in AEW, I think that everybody in the audience, they kind of like half cheer because there wasn't even like a full, oh my God, huge pop from Andrade's debut. I mean, of course, like on social media, people are like, holy crap, he's here and all that. But what kind of got me off guard is it unnecessary that Andrade really needed Vicky Guerrero as a manager? Like, why? I honestly feel that Andrade is perfectly better by his own, but I understand that he's having like a tough time, speaking English like into the full extent to make sure just to have like more of a cohesive like promo cutting. But I can understand why he's being paired up with Vicky Guerrero, of course, like being her, like she can be like the mouthpiece to.
Well, look at her success rate.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, look, look, Edge, Ziggler, Swagger, all world champions.
Mm-hmm.
Look at her success rate. Absolutely, I would love Vicky Guerrero to be my manager if I was a talent back there. That just makes sense.
Understandable, and especially how she managed Nyla Rose also.
Yeah, well, I mean, I feel like that may have taken a little bit of a backseat now that Andrade's in the picture. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I mean, according to Wrestling Inc., Andrade met with Tony Khan in Florida this week. The week he was released from his WWE contract back in March. However, a deal wasn't made. Negotiations stalled because Andrade's demands, which included wanting creative control and veto power on losing, there was a compromise made on that, and he will have a limited amount of creative control on his finishes. Andrade also wanted to work other companies outside of AEW. Andrade also is also in talks with Impact. They were willing to guarantee part of his creative control demands, but they were too far apart on the number of dates as he would be paid per date and not a guaranteed downside, which is how a lot of recent Impact deals have been structured as of late. They are pretty close to an on-off appearance at some point in time. So that's interesting to see coming into that. I mean, he wants full creative control over his character, and that's interesting. I don't know. After reading that, I've seen the IWC, the Internet Wrestling Community, say, "Who the hell does he think he is, Hogan?" Stuff like that. I don't know, man. I mean, I get wanting creative freedom over your stuff. I get wanting creative control over your character. And I mean, AEW, they pride themselves on creative freedom. That's what they say. But I don't know. Do you think you should have full creative control, or should it be kind of a tier system in a way, to
I
where?
mean, it all depends on like what he wanted to do like within the company, because I know certain stars, they just wanted to have creative control and have like a creative freedom, but at the same time is I just feel that they need to have like more of kind of like a compromise agreement between the stars and whoever is in charge for like the whole creative control for it altogether. But with Andrade having like a creative control for it, it would definitely help more, especially like he's still with AAA wrestling with this whole partnership going on. And the fact that he's going to be having like one of a key, like a pretty much a main event match come August for Triple Mania too. But I think that him having like this whole agreement for that is pretty interesting. And we'll see what he can bring to the table as well, especially what my dogs are agree about it too.
That's interesting. I mean, it's gonna be interesting to see what Andrade does in AEW, but I mean, after this, man, like a lot of that WWE talent that got released, I think we need to start taking a back seat on hiring a lot of those guys.
Indeed.
Yeah, because I mean, you look at them. I found this meme that No DQ just posted. I'm watching AEW or SmackDown from 2003, and it has like Show, Christian, Henry, and Matt Hardy.
Oh my God.
Yeah, like AEW shouldn't. You don't need to sign everyone. You don't need to sign everyone. You know what I mean? Now, like let's see some of these other talents flourish in other companies. Like
Exactly.
let's see people go to Ring of Honor. Let's see people go to MLW.
Yep.
Like let's do something different.
Yeah.
And another thing with the creative freedom. I mean, you look at Miro. He had creative freedom with the whole
Mhm.
video game thing, and I mean that really didn't turn out too well at all.
Nope.
I mean, it was bad. It was very, very bad. And now he seems to be in a better spot, just being a foreign monster, and that still works till this day.
Agree.
Being a foreign bad guy can still put butts in seats and put money in your pocket. So, I mean, like I said, it's going to be interesting to see what Andrade does
Mhm.
moving forward with AEW and his partnership with Vicky. He's either going to be a success or it's going to be he's going to be stagnant. It's going to be one or the other.
Yeah, time would tell, of course. As long as they're going to mention about his match against Kenny Omega, if it's going to be part of kind of like a key point storyline, like I would say come down to like mid July. That's what I'm predicting.
Start building that up. Yeah, I can see that. Moving on, we have a tag team match: QT Marshall and Anthony Ogogo going up against Cody Rhodes and Lee Johnson. What do you think of this?
It's just your typical Cody versus the factory rivalry of the match. I mean, the crowd itself, they're pretty much like half and half excited, half are like tired. I mean, it's a pretty good showcasing match for Lee Johnson and for Anthony Ogogo as well. Cody coming out to that, of course, that same remix of a song from Double or Nothing. It's like, why do you have to? But all in all, it's pretty much more Cody like having like more of like an in-ring match with QT Marshall, settling down with this whole rivalry going on, especially when he did the power slam to QT Marshall and then a figure four lock to QT until Anthony, of course, with the frog splash to broke the pin. And of course, like right towards the end, QT Marshall delivered the diamond cutter. But then, of course, Lee Johnson broke the pin. And then towards the end, you saw Aaron Solo did make the distraction. And of course, another cheap shot to Cody. And QT Marshall did actually pin for victory.
Yeah, that was a nasty pin breakup by Lee Johnson. He kind of just came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And he looked like he hurt himself. And I think when Ogogo came down on the frog splash, he kind of landed on Cody's face.
Mm-hmm.
So that that's not good. Yeah, I mean, QT hits a diamond cutter, and then Cody's going for the crossroads, and then Ogogo just knocks him out, and QT picks up the dub. So I mean, it was a nice little tag match.
Yeah.
Moving on from that, the Inner Circle Stadium Stampede celebration. Yes, Le Champion is accompanied by his cronies, and they celebrate winning Stadium Stampede. Sammy Guevara says, I got to do it with my band of brothers. These guys are my brothers, all that stuff, the rah-rah stuff. But they say it's not over with the Pinnacle.
Indeed. And right after Sammy Guevara, I think it was Ortiz, they cut a promo about him and Santana who had to deal with FTR, like tombstoning them through the table, like prior to the whole Stadium Stampede match at Double or Nothing. And of course, they wanted to have a matchup. But then again, when Jake Hager cut a promo, he actually wanted to face Wardlow in a one-on-one MMA cage fight in 2 weeks. To me, I'm very intrigued with this because I know Wardlow, did he ever done MMA before? Probably not, because he did wrestle in the independent wrestling scene prior to being signed to AEW, but I'm like very intrigued how is this whole format going to work altogether. But I'm very intrigued, Phillip. What do you think?
It's probably going to be like the Brawl for All.
Oh,
I don't know. It's gonna be interesting. They're gonna. I mean, when wrestling does things that are different, I'm always a fan if they're presented correctly. So in 2 weeks have to we'll have to truly wait and see. I think it'll be interesting.
Indeed. And then, of
Uh,
course, Jericho, of course, cutting a promo.
oh, of course. I mean, Les Champions cutting a great promo. It worked. The guys know what they're doing. When Jericho does the majority of the talking, I feel like it helps everybody. My opinion.
Indeed.
Moving on from that, Kenny Omega, he's in some production room with Michael Nakazawa, Don Callis, and Alex Marvez hunts him down, cuts a promo talking about Jungle Boy, and the theme song and all that other stuff. Thoughts on the Kenny promo?
It's Kenny Omega, of course. He is promoting like the upcoming match in like less than a week away as of today on Sunday against Jungle Boy. I think it's like kind of like
It got moved.
Yeah. Oh, got moved?
Yeah, June 26th.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Interesting. Wonder why. Yeah, I gotta look on social
Playoffs.
Media. Oh,
yeah.
That's why. But yeah, all in all, it was pretty much a solid promo, especially adding like Don Callis in a mix to just call out Jungle Boy after Jungle Boy did actually have like a surprise victory in Double or Nothing. And that's kind of like more of like a good start of a storyline between those two, of course. And especially how they mock Jungle Boy's theme song with the oh whoa 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 whoa. Sorry for those of you hearing my horrible singing, just like in my intro of the Into the Stratosphere show. Yeah.
It's Kenny being Kenny. I mean, if you've been listening to this show, you people know how I feel about Kenny Omega. It is what it is. We move into a tag team match with Jungle Boy. He's teaming up with Captain Charisma, Christian Cage, and they go on to defeat Private Party. Private Party wrestling in the white button ups and some khakis now.
Yep, wearing their preppy clothes. They wanted to look fresh and presentable, just like Big Money Matt Hardy.
Yes, a tag team looking fresh, but not fresher than the world's freshest tag team, of course.
Facts.
It was a solid match. Jungle Boy getting beat down, and then Christian Cage coming in, getting the hot tag, making a save. All in all, the snare trap, which is Jungle Boy's STF. He locked it in on Marcus Quinn, taps out, and Cage and Jungle Boy get the big dub.
Yeah, it was pretty much a decent match. However, there has been a lot of distraction going on, like Jungle Boy got tagged in and trying to compete against Isaiah Cassidy, but then you have Matt Hardy and Mark Quinn providing more of the distraction. And then whenever Christian got tagged in, attack, doing his thing, Matt Hardy and or Isaiah Cassidy or Mark Quinn attacks him. So it's a lot of like a distraction on the Hardy family office's end. But I know this match was like pretty solid too. And I do enjoy Jungle Boy's finisher. The snare trap has a very nice tone to it as well. But all in all, I am very impressed with this matchup altogether. But the crowd itself, because on this episode, I'm actually focusing more is like the crowd energy. I just feel like, in the beginning, the crowd got into it, and then midway through, it kind of seems to be slowing it down a bit. Don't you think?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Was this live Dynamite?
Yes, it was live. It said it live on
or was it live to tape?
It was live.
Okay, well,
because it said live on the left corner of the TV.
Okay, I mean Dynamite's done that before, but it's been taped, so I'm just kind of.
Yeah, I gotta look on.
I'm just trying to think. So I mean, if it was truly live, then it was like almost midnight during that time. So But anyway, moving on from that. I mean, that's why people would get tired. Moving on from that, Team Taz has a promo. Taz says, Hangman, you got lucky. Grab one of your Dark Order buddies to face Powerhouse Hobbs and Brian Cage on Dynamite next week, and then I guess Hobbs and Cage are going to be teaming together on Dark Elevation on Monday. So that's going to be interesting. Cindy, I know you're a fan of the Dark and the Dark Elevation.
Yeah, just AEW Dark Elevation because it has like more of like a thorough storyline that happened. And I forgot to mention, of course, that the whole counter with Christian Cage and Jungle Boy and the whole private party situation, it happened on AEW Dark Elevation where Tony Schiavone interviewing Jungle Boy after his impressive victory at Double or Nothing. And then Christian came out and of course confronted Jungle Boy. And then surprisingly enough, Matt Hardy and Private Party did attack them during the episode AEW Dark Elevation. I forgot to point that out. It's been a long day, y'all. Just saying. So yeah, so pretty much I'm looking forward to this matchup, what it will lead up to this in Dark Elevation. It's kind of like an upgrade version of AEW Dark, but with more of the segment and more storyline developed just leading up to AEW Dynamite.
Yeah. In my opinion, it's too much.
Yeah.
It's become too much.
Yep, too much wrestling, too much content.
So I mean, what are your thoughts on the Team Taz promo?
Pretty interesting. I mean, I'm surprised they're still together after what Brian Cage did to Ricky and Hook on Double or Nothing. But it'll be pretty to see what's going to be happening down the line too. But pretty solid promo as usual.
All right. Sting and Darby, they come out to cut a promo. Then they get interrupted by Ethan Page and Scorpio Sky. Yeah. This I'm getting tired of the Sting Darby thing. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Agree. However, I think it was Scorpio Sky say that they wanted to issue a challenge, a tag team match against Darby Allin, but Darby got to pick a different partner as long as it's not Sting.
Okay, yeah, well, that did happen, but I'm getting tired of the whole Sting Darby thing. Like it's run its course. We need to do something else.
A one-on-one match against them. That's what I've been waiting for.
Yeah. I mean, if you put Sting in there with the right person, then you can really hide his with the things he lacks. Because I mean, he's an older gentleman now.
True.
So yeah, I mean, it's something to see. Who do you think Darby Allin's gonna pick?
Well, that's a good question. I mean, I know Darby is pretty cool with the Dark Order. I know we have like other talents that's like still not being used. That's a really good question to say at least too. Honestly, I think he's gonna pick one of the members of the Dark Order. So that's what I'm guessing.
That's a possibility, yeah.
Yeah.
Probably 10.
Pretty much.
I can see that.
Or maybe Darby will be picking one of the Seidel brothers, possibly like, Matt Seidel.
That's interesting. One thing I want to mention, Zicky Dice was in the crowd.
Oh yeah.
Shout out to the Outlandish one, friend of the show.
Oh, yeah. Hopefully he get a match on AEW Dark Elevation or AEW Dark.
Hopefully, man. Love Zicky Dice. Love him to death. All right, then we have the title celebration of the new AEW World's Women's Champion, Britt Baker, DMD. She comes out there with Rebel, not Reba.
Mm-hmm.
And Tony Schiavone's out there, Ryan Nemeth, Vicky, Nyla. She's thanking everybody. We forgot the Inner Circle gave out shirts. So, Britt Baker said she can one up that, and she has burgers for just a select few of people.
And the coupon, of course.
And the coupons, of course.
Coupons, yeah, from Mickey D's.
Yes, and then Nyla Rose just, swats the burgers, throws them out, and he was like, "No, man, this is stupid. I'm leaving. I'm getting out of here."
Yeah, this celebration itself was pretty entertaining, of course. I know the crowd was very happy for Britt Baker coming out. And for who else was there in the present, of course, like Ryan Nemeth and the rest of his wingman, Diamante, Vicky, Nyla, the Chaos Project, and TH2 were there too. And I like the fact that she's now calling herself La Champion, of course, kind of like a tribute to Chris Jericho as Le Champion. We have his La Champion, of course. It has a nice ring to it, of course. So I like the fact that she did cut a promo, like saying that like she is deserving to be the champion, and the fact that she is definitely going to be elevating the women's division as well. However, that burger, that Big Mac, oh my God, it got me so hungry watching this segment. that I had to like grab a second plate of dinner of meal.
Those burgers look pretty dry.
I know.
They looked really dry.
Oh yeah, of course. But then, however, the whole Nyla Rose, like, Nyla Rose like throwing out the burger and the burger coupon, of course, and walked off. It got me confused a bit too, and I was like, is it going to be a setup for a face turn for Nyla Rose? But then at the same time, it got me thinking, Vicky's going to be managing Andrade. And so it pretty much means that like the whole like partnership with Vicky and Nyla may be soon coming to an end, and then we're possibly going to be seeing Nyla turning face.
You can have a manager manage a heel superstar and a face superstar. It's happened before.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, I think it'll be fine.
Yeah, but do you think that like is it Nyla's going to be the first opponent that Britt's going to be defending her title?
Well, where is she in the ranking system?
Good question.
Maybe they'll actually follow the ranking system this time.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's not hard when somebody is not the number one contender anymore. They go down to two moves up to one. Like, it's not hard. It's really not.
Exactly. And I also wanted to point out real quick about Hikaru Shida. So the other day I saw it on Twitter saying that she's actually going to be restarting. And so it shows a picture of her a picture of her hair being cut off on the ground. So we're going to be seeing a new makeover of Hikaru Shida.
That's fine. I think she needs it.
Mm-hmm.
I think she desperately needs to do something different. We shall wait and see. Moving on, we have some women's action. We have Red Velvet versus the Bunny. Red Velvet put the suicide dive in this match.
Yeah. Indeed.
Doing her best lead impersonation. I mean, her neck bent and everything. Was like, oh my god. All in all, Red Velvet defeats the Bunny. What do you think of this match?
It was a pretty solid women's match. Of course, the usual. Let's see. It used to be in 6:35 p.m. Pacific Standard Time timing, but now it's like 8:35 p.m. Pacific Standard Timing for a women's match. All in all, it was pretty much a fun match. I mean, I like the fact that the Bunny did deliver the double thrust kick to Red Velvet that sends her outside of the ring while Red Velvet was on the top rope. That kind of bounced her off. A lot of like back and forth counter and pinfall going on, and then you saw that. Kylan King and Big Swole got involved trying to call out the referee because the Bunny was about to grab the brass knuckles from the blade, but then with Red Velvet, with her quick thinking, that's where she quickly counter the Bunny's brass knucks, and that's where she delivered the just dessert to pick up the victory. So it was pretty much a very fun match, and it looks like on Twitter that I saw the other day, Red Velvet, Kylan King, and Big Swole is officially a trio, of course, and they call themselves RSK, which is short for Red Velvet, Swole, and Kylan King. So we got another trio.
No more.
Yeah.
I'm done with it. I don't want it.
I was like, are you freaking kidding me? Where we have too much trios, we have too much factions. Like, seriously, AEW, like, why? At least it's like the only trios in the women's division.
Who's the only singles person? Like, is not I think Miro's the only person that's not attached to anybody right now.
Nope. Miro. Who else?
Yeah.
Andrade?
No, he's attached to Vicky. I'm talking about somebody who's doesn't have a manager, doesn't have anything. Miro's the only person.
Okay, I'm just thinking who is signed to AEW. Oh, Sean Dean, of course, but we haven't seen him since Double or Nothing.
Wasn't he in a tag team or something?
Mm-mm.
He was tagging with somebody for a little bit.
Harley Bravo, but he's part of the Nightmare Factory.
But yeah, I mean,
who else?
If you look at that roster, that's pretty much it.
Yeah, pretty much. Everybody's online. Well, except for Hikaru Shida, of course. She's on her own.
Okay.
Hikaru Shida. Who else? Oh, Layla Hirsch. Serena Deebs.
Is Serena Deeb, is she signed to AEW?
Yes, she is. Yeah, she got signed to AEW mid last year.
Okay.
Yeah. Stay tuned for Into the Stratosphere, where I'll give you the recap of NWA When Our Shadows Fall, if she retained the NWA Women's title or if she lost to Camille. Stay tuned.
I'm thinking of like a name that's there on a kind of like a regular basis. That's why I threw Miro out there.
Yeah, Miro's one of them.
Because Archer's with Jake.
Yep.
And so it's something. Let's go on to the main event. It's a bull rope match. Yep. Dustin Rhodes, the legendary Natural, goes up against Nick Camarado with a Factory. There's a table spot, cool. There's some blood, all right, but it didn't really do it for me.
Yeah, same here. I mean, the crowd energy was like very low in the main event match. It's like it doesn't give like more of a hype. The bull rope match, I was expecting it's kind of like the dog collar match, but you have to wrap a rope around your opponent's wrist. It looks all right, but it doesn't seem to be more convincing. I know they're trying to follow up with the whole storyline feud between the Nightmare family / Factory and the Factory itself too. It was kind of cool, but the funny part is that when Dustin and Nick Camarado were like right by the barricade where all the enhancement independent wrestling towns were at, Fuego del Sol jumped Nick Camarado from behind and trying to give him like a kind of like a dragon sleeper, but Nick did actually pick him up and threw it across to the independent wrestling audience as well. So that was pretty much a funny part of it. So after this whole table spot, there has been a brief holy shit chant, which we haven't heard that in quite some time, of course, on Dynamite. But it's not that higher holy shit, but like lower. But then again, you have is like this whole distraction from Aaron Starlow once again, trying to help Nick Camarado to get the cheap win. But then Colton Gunn actually appeared and started attacking Aaron Starlow. And that's where Dustin did deliver the beautiful bulldog, then the final reckoning before the one count. And then he did hit Nick Camarado with the cowbell. And then he did the top rope bulldog and pick up the victory of this match. And that was it for the main event.
Yeah, I mean, Dustin in the crowd shot, the limited crowd that there was, that was something. Yes, I mean, it happened. Congratulations for Dustin winning in the Dynamite main event. That's really about it. Gonna be interesting to see what happens next week on Dynamite. And as we they haven't announced Fight for the Fallen. They haven't announced Fighter Fest.
Nope, they only announced like AEW Dynamite. It's going to be on a Friday night for this week, next week, and it's going to be on June 26th. It's going to be on Saturday.
Okay, yeah, that's the title. That's the title match. Okay. Mm-hmm. All right. Well, Cindy, this has been fun as always. Let the people know where they can find you and all your other projects.
Oh, definitely. So you guys tune in to the new episode of Into the Stratosphere. It will be up either Monday or Tuesday. It's going to be a loaded episode, you guys. As a sneak peek, it is going to be a recap episode of the two of the major pay-per-view that's happening: NWA When Our Shadows Fall and New Japan Pro Wrestling Dominion, of course. And also my thoughts of the very best episode of Impact Wrestling, including my take on the TJP versus Josh Alexander's Iron Man match for the X Division Championship match. And it was a pretty good one, I'm just saying. But you guys can find me on Twitter, Instagram, and on TikTok at simply_C_OK. That's SIMPLY_C_OKAY, y'all. Till then, remember to please be kind of one another. We're all in this together.
All right. You guys know where to follow me, Heel Antwine, HEELANTWINE, on the Twitter and the Instagram. The Bulletcast on Instagram, The Bulletcast on YouTube, at Bulletcast on Twitter, at Bulletcast on Facebook. Please end the click. I'm on there with Baby Huey to talk Dynamite and anything else we want to chop it up about. Follow Curveballs and Chair Shots, Brandon's other podcast, TNC at the Movies. My homie Juan, he and his uncle do recaps of movies on YouTube. TNC at the Movies. Follow all that stuff. And stay clean, stay strong, stay safe, get vaccinated. Diamonds are forever. So is the Microphone Messiah. We'll talk to you guys next time.
This has been the Bulletcast. Thank you for listening.